XRP is a future world currency. Ripple, the company behind XRP, just applied to be a bank. But there's a lot more to this than what you've heard so far, I promise. In this very special 100th episode of Crypto News in a Flash, this is some amazing news, and I'll break it down into bite-sized brain snacks for you. So Ripple applied for the national bank charter. Obviously, everyone's talking about that. Brad posted about it on X. But what people aren't talking about is that Ripple's subsidiary company, Standard Custody, applied for a Federal Reserve master account at the same time, or a Fed master account. While the entity Ripple will gain federal banking capabilities as opposed to state level, like it had before, the Fed master account that they apply for through Standard Custody will allow them to access Federal Reserve payment systems for moving money, hold funds or reserves within the Federal Reserve, participate in financial operations like settling transactions or managing liquidity, integration opportunities between FedNow and RippleNet, merging both domestic and international transactions. But this is where things get a little confusing. Ripple has RippleNet, their own payment software that does most of what the Federal Reserve payment systems already do. Also, why would Ripple want to have the Federal Reserve custody their RLUSD when they have a subsidiary, Standard Custody, that they can store and secure and custody their own XRP, RLUSD, or any other cryptocurrency? To understand all these why questions, you need to understand that the Federal Reserve payment system only settles transactions in US dollar, while Ripple can facilitate transactions in any currency using XRP as a bridge. And since Standard Custody is not an actual bank, the Fed will store the actual US dollar that will back the RLUSD, making it more secure. And having a Fed master account also connects Ripple to every bank in the country. Let's not forget that utilizing XRP also eliminates the need for pre-funded Nostro Vostro accounts. The Federal Reserve handles domestic transactions while Ripple connects international transactions. This integration could connect the Federal Reserve to the rest of the world. And if this is indeed a step on the path of Ripple and the Fed merging their systems, this could be another step to where Ripple becomes what they were always meant to be, a world central bank. And no, stablecoins will not back Ripple World Central Bank, or RWCB. XRP will. Watch episode 88 for a breakdown on this, but simply put, stablecoins are not stable, especially when you compare them to other currencies in other countries. Everyone's stablecoin and local dollar in their region is constantly fluctuating up and down. Canada versus US, US versus Australia, Australia versus EU. These are local dollars, which are not stable. And stable coins are pegged to the local dollar, which are also not stable outside of their locality. But XRP, with its ever-growing liquidity pools, is the same price in US, Canada, Australia, EU, Mexico, so on and so forth, making XRP the most stable currency this world has ever seen. And the larger the liquidity pool, the less spread on transactions. As XRP grows bigger and bigger, so does its liquidity pools and its transactional stability. I think they just created a ripple large enough that it should really be called a tidal wave. Wealth, love, and authenticity to you all.